do you had the practice of notes making? How much importance do you attach to notes making? What is your view on it?
See, I had, by chance, I had gone for coaching classes for all three of my final attempt subjects
Right,
at various points of time.
right,
So, being sitting in a class, I had notes from the class.
right,
So, I am not a person who would have made notes from textbooks.
right,
But textbook note making is somewhat different from a classroom note taking.
right,
And for each subject, so you have the syllabus, which is
right.
divided into chapters. Each chapter is further divided into small terms or small chunks of the syllabus. So for
Absolutely.
each of that, you have either your classroom notes
Right,
or your textbook notes.
right,
So I had classroom notes for most of it. Then I
right,
had further condensed and made small abstract notes for all of it,
right,
so which helps in not only preparation, which helps at the revision stage, that you will be
right.
able to, even if you had classroom notes, you will not be able to go through the entire notes just for revision.
Absolutely.
So I had various pyramid of notes, so to speak.
Okay, okay. So some detailed notes and then some condensed notes which you will be able to revise before the exam day, so to
Correct.
speak. Right, right, right. So, I mean, my next question was something which you have told as an answer to the previous question. So, classrooms, right? So, I mean, we are part of an academy who train aspirants, but I was someone who did not attend any coaching class but prepared on my own. So, I don't think there is one right answer. But in your view, considering the vastness of the syllabus, uh, what do you think are I mean, do you think training, formal coaching in whatever form is something which will benefit, or do you think it can be self-preparation?
It is for the student to think whether they can take the maximum benefits from the coaching.
Right,
That in many classes, uh, say the overall exams pass percentage is minuscule, it is in 0.1%.
right,
There may be classes where the pass percentage is certainly good,
right.
which only shows that the class is not a magic capsule. It
Absolutely.
is a part of the puzzle of preparation. That if the
Right,
student can take value from the class, definitely they should go.
right. Absolutely. And any because I think you have been to the interview thrice, if I'm not wrong. Yeah,
Four times, four times.
four times, all the four times you were to the interview. So what is your experience of the interview board? How different was it each time, or you felt it was more or less the same? Uh, the questions should have been different, but what has been your experience of the interview board, so to speak?
My experience was very different between the first and the final attempts.
Right,
But by the time of the final attempt, I was clear that what was expected in the interview.
right.
That the interview is very well described by the UPSC. The
Yes,
notification describes what the interview is supposed to be. That it's a conversation. It is a structured conversation to find out your suitability for the public service.
right,
So in the first interview, I had prepared more like a quiz program or more like a, an
a
events and
Q&A
facts
session.
and a Q&A session.
Right,
So I had left that approach behind.
right,
So by the final attempt, I was sure that that in a conversation, I would be able to, impress upon my suitability with the people there, with the interviewers there.
absolutely, absolutely. So I mean, we had picked your brains on what it takes for the preparation, but how does it feel when you are declared as the number one rank holder in the entire
So
country?
yeah, it feels good.
Yeah, obviously it feels
Yeah,
great. And
obviously it feels good.
how long does that feeling last, if I may ask?
Well, like you have called me after 15 years talking
Uh,
about it, so it continues to
Absolutely.
be good today also.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's as I said, a topper is a topper is a topper always, right? So I mean, that's I'm sure the people who are watching it will take a lot of inspiration. So just to summarize, all my dear friends who are watching it, my friend, good friend, and our batch topper Nagarajan has just said that you need to give all your time, available time for this preparation. I'm just summarizing you for you, Nagarajan. all your available time should be spent on this. It should be that single-minded focus, as we always say, in getting into the service. Plan your preparation. If you feel that you can take maximum benefit from a coaching, please do join a coaching. But anyways, coaching, non-coaching, all your available time for this. Make simple notes which can be revised closer to the exam also, a detailed notes for the first revision and probably condensed note for a second revision which you can revise. Be ready to write something about every topic in the syllabus so that you are prepared for the exam. And of course the interview is more a conversation. So that was his views about the exam, which is what many of you would have signed up for, would have been interested in knowing from him. But more importantly, after that, I know that he has been doing great work for the last decade and a half in Tamil Nadu cadre. So Nagarajan, if you would like to share any 2 or 3 things which you feel which really gave you the satisfaction that yes, this is something which I wouldn't have been able to do but for being an IAS officer. So if there are certain things like that which you would like to share, which can inspire the aspirants as well.
Now, over the last maybe a decade plus, I have been through various posts.
Right.
In each of this, I could not have done that whatever I was doing without being an IAS officer.
Right.
And it could be very small things. It could be very macro policy level things.
Right.
In postings at the district level or postings at the state level. Neither of this, I am sure I could not have done it without the credibility and authority that comes with the service.
Yeah. So I know you had overall said that of course there is an opportunity which comes with every posting, but if you have to pick 1 or 2 things close to your heart which you would have done because of being in the service and things which really gave you a lot of satisfaction.
I can think of 2 examples.
Right.
One is where you cannot do without being member of the service and without being part of the administrative system. The second example where any of us could do with the sufficient motivation, but where being inside the bureaucracy with authority helps.
Right.
So the first case, a few years back, I was working as the director of e-governance in our state.
Right.
Where I had a good opportunity to automate various processes.
Okay.
For example, the land record.
Right.
Or the certificates that exam people who are writing the exam will know about community certificates and income certificates and all these things.
Absolutely.
All of this we were able to convert completely into an online process.
Right.
That instead of paper certificate that you go and get from an office, you could apply from an internet kiosk.
Right.
You get a printout right there, maybe after a few days. So this was, a system improvement which saves the time and effort of lakhs of people, particularly students who are going to get the certificate.
Okay.
So this is the internal process change.
Right.
The second example I would think of is while working in the health department or earlier also as district collector.
Right.
Our team was able to rescue a lot of mentally ill people who are homeless, who are living on the roads.
Okay.
So this is a common sight in our cities.
Absolutely.
Because there are committed individuals who are working on this sector, who are able to rescue and treat and maybe reunite with their family, or
right.
Hold them for a sustained period, rehabilitate them in whatever way possible.
Right.
But this work I was able to do as part of my professional duties also.
Right. Because
so
I think
we were able to
act which requires magistrate.
Earlier there was the Mental Health Act of 1997. Now the new act is there of 2018.
Right.
2017 Act. So in all this there is a professional duty cast upon the district magistrate.
Right.
And working along with various civil society organizations, we were able to rescue hundreds of people from them.
Right. Right.
That was a very satisfying.
Wonderful. Wonderful. I'm sure there are many more official, as part of your official duty. I know, you are part of the housing scheme during the previous regime. You're part of e-governance during the present regime. You're part of health department. You're now part of startup ecosystem. So I think the service gives you enormous opportunity. So now switching track, that was about some of your experience in the field. About higher studies, you are also someone who took a study leave and went to the Harvard and did your master's there, 2 full-year master's course. So tell us about that experience. I mean, what prompted you to do it? Will you advise? I mean, of course, these are all aspirants. They need to first get into the service, but it's not every day that they will get a chance to get some inputs from you. So will you advise them what is it like, and what are the key learnings or the the different learnings that you've learned from your Harvard experience?
Well, I went to the Harvard Kennedy School of Government,
Right.
where students from across the world come for their degrees in public policy or public administration. People
Right.
come mid-career,
Okay.
but it's not exactly the beginning of their career. There are students who come mid-career. People do PhD in public policy. And
So mid-career from other countries also who are in governance, similar governance
Yes.
roles? Okay.
Not only from the bureaucracy,
Right.
people in a variety of public service. As we started the conversation, we were talking about this.
Right.
That public service is by a variety of actors,
Right.
one of which is bureaucracy. So all of them, congregate at the school
Okay.
to develop further.
Okay.
In that way, it is a very enriching experience that you learn about. There is something common with the entire world.
Right.
Where we have our differences,
Right.
but the whole world is grappling with some common problems.
Right.
That with public policy making and implementation there is variety, but there is also some common problems that we also address.
Right. Right. So and this will be a 2-year program. I mean, it's full 2-year course, and you will be. Did you get any scholarship to do it there, or does the government support? How does it work?
The government supports for the mid-career programs. The government supports with a 1-year scholarship.
Right.
The government of India supports. There are programs where there are various other agencies. The universities themselves support.
Okay.
So for a member of the service, I think either in terms of getting an admission nor securing funding is not an issue. Neither of that is an issue.
Okay. Okay. And how do you think this? I mean, of course. Anyways, so how do you? And it depends on the opportunity that you get on the field, and how to implement those the learnings from the course that you did. I think it'll vary from case to case, if I'm not wrong.
It is. I would say that it is not an instrumental or a technical view.
Right.
It is not that you learnt a certain type of surgery,
Right.
and only when you get that type of patient you can apply the surgery. It is not like that.
Right.
That it is more that your your outlook or your view undergoes very significant changes, and you are able to imbibe a certain way of thinking and some values.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, Nagarajan, it was indeed a pleasure discussing with you. But just to recap, I mean, in your views, something which, as a summary, you would like to tell the aspirants. We had discussed about your preparation, about being a topper, some of your experience in the field, your Harvard experience. But I know you're a man of few words. But if you would like to conclude by saying some few things that aspirants should keep in mind.
To the aspirants, that there is no service in this country which gives so much satisfaction for a person interested in public service.
Right.
And it is a marathon, that the exam is designed in a very complicated way.
Right.
That you will need, amongst other, that you may be, intelligent and hardworking, but you will need to persevere. That whatever it takes, you will need to spend some time on the exam, and best of luck.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So as you said, it's a 1-year exam cycle in itself, starting from the prelims till the interview. So, and if you're not lucky in the first attempt, then you may have to go through this entire cycle one more year. So I think there's a lot of perseverance that is required, and you are the best example that people could actually look up to for being perseverant and coming out of this exam in flying colors. So thank you once again, Nagarajan, for your time. I'm sure the aspirants would have found it extremely useful. Thank you.
Thank you, Ranga.
Thank you.